What's up, y'all? Welcome back to True's Podcast with your host, True Car. Today, I want to talk about being, and I want to talk about making sure that you're in a space of being and making sure that you're in a space of being in the present moment and releasing and letting go of whatever is taking you out of that moment, whether that be people, situations, spaces, hurt, pain, trauma, whatever the case may be. Really learning how to release and let go and be in that present moment. And I've talked about this in my past podcasts and my past videos. I talk about being in the present moment and how it's important to understand that the past and the future is the only time that you should be connecting to your past is when you're intentionally healing it, when you're in a space of being in the present moment and something is popping up for you, traumas or triggers are popping up for you, and you dealing with that face on and breathing through that and allowing yourself to feel into those spaces to actually be in the present moment and not ignoring that pain or that hurt that comes up, but genuinely dealing with it in the present moment and intentionally healing it. And when it comes to the future, really allowing yourself to only connect to the future when you are visualizing it, when you're intentionally manifesting it and sitting down and writing down your goals and your dreams in order to understand what you need to do in the present moment to make that happen, and understanding that the little steps make the big thing. So putting one foot in front of the other and being in the present moment in those steps is what's going to make that future become in your reality right now in the present moment. And I think it's important to understand when it comes to being, it's hard to be in your space in your present moment when you have toxic relationships around you. So I think it's important to learn and understand those connections in your life and really have those hard conversations, not only with other people, but with yourself. Honest, hard conversations and understand who you really want in your life and who is really benefiting you or bringing love and light to the table, and who is really allowing you to be yourself, and who is really aligned with you, and also understanding where you are trying to control people in your life, are trying to control yourself to show up as a version of you to make other people feel comfortable around you. I think it's important to understand when it comes to being, you have to show up as your authentic self in order to really truly be in the present moment. And you can't be afraid of what other people are going to take that as. You have to be okay with being misunderstood, and also, releasing and letting go of traumas and baggages that make you feel unworthy of showing up as yourself, or make you feel like you're not worth enough, or you're not valuable, or you're hard to understand, or whatever the case may be. You have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable, have those uncomfortable conversations with yourself, and be in and sit in that uncomfort, in that present moment of uncomfort, so that you can truly transmute it and shift it so that your present moment can feel more at peace and at ease and calm. And so I think it's important to deal with what you need to deal with and face it head on so that you can bring a space of more gratitude to the present moment and be more thankful for the space you are in, instead of worrying about what happened to you in the past or what's going to happen in the future. Being able to put one foot in front of the other and truly step into, or just be. And I think that's important to understand. Like, not even try to step into anything, but just understand that you are where you're meant to be right now, and you are who you are meant to be right now, and who you are going to be is going to come, as long as you continue to just sit and be in the present moment. You don't have to worry about what's going to come, because you are completely in the present moment, and because you are completely in the present moment and putting your best foot forward, and also understanding in the present moment your best foot forward doesn't always have to look like somebody else's 100%. I think that's important to understand. Comparison is the killer of self-love and self-expression and being. So I think it's important to understand within the present moment, just being and allowing yourself to be is one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself, for your future self and your past self. Showing up as authentic as you can and releasing and letting go of anything that's blocking you or holding you back from that, whether that be other people's projections of you or whether that be the trauma or the hurt that made you feel small or made you feel like you had to be small in order to show up around different people or to show up in life in general. I think it's important to deal with that head on and really be what you wanted those other people to be for you, for yourself, and have compassion and empathy for yourself during that space of being guided back to yourself and being guided into your being and your light. I think that's important to understand. I think it's important to understand to just when when you are just being, you're automatically in a space of gratitude because you're connecting to what's in front of you and you're able to see it clearly, because that is what clarity is being, because you can't get clarity in worry and fear in racing against a clock or racing against time or racing against the next person trying to be something that you are not. In order to get clarity and understanding of your next step, of the next move, of being in blind faith, you have to allow yourself to put one foot in front of the other and not be afraid of what that next step looks like. Just being in the present moment of that next step and of the next step after that and of the next step after that. And also, when you feel a tug from the past, when something does pop up or a trigger does pop up, allowing yourself to be in that step, in that present moment of that trauma or that trigger, and allowing yourself to feel through it, even if it's painful, even if it hurts, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, allowing yourself to sit in that uncomfortable feeling and just feeling through it. Because the more you step into your own being is the more, not being afraid of what amplifies or not being afraid of what is repelled is important too. Having that space of being detached, and not detached in a way of emotionally unavailable or whatever the case may be, but just showing up as who you want to show up in that space, who you want to show up as in that space, and not being afraid of what that brings, whether that be you losing friends or family or romantic partners, just allowing yourself to release and let go of what you were forcing before, or allowing yourself to bring in what you were repelling before because you weren't showing up as authentically as you are meant to show up in this world, or authentically as you felt safe to show up as. Because the more you stand in your truth and the more you're in the present moment, is the more whatever is for you is going to come to you, and whatever is not for you is automatically going to get the ick with you, is automatically going to feel uncomfortable around you. And I think it's important to understand that sometimes when you are in the present moment and in your own energy, that does make other people feel uncomfortable. But I think it's important, feel uncomfortable to where they want to project or push that uncomfortable feeling onto you. And I think it's important in those spaces to be in the present moment and see that for what it is, see them for what they are doing, and not take it personal, but understand that they are projecting or pushing something onto you because it's showing, is mirroring to them something that they are not willing to accept within themselves. They may not be willing to accept their authentic nature yet, and you are mirroring that to them, and it's making them feel uncomfortable. So being in a space of compassion and understanding for what those people are going through, and not taking it personal, and also knowing where to place those people in your life so that you can be at peace and at one within your present moment as well. I think that's important to understand when it comes to being and standing your truth. You are going to make people uncomfortable. And I think it's important to be okay with making them uncomfortable and be okay with yourself being uncomfortable in those spaces in order to release what you need to release or bring in what you need to bring in. Allowing yourself to be honest and true so that you can really repel what is not honest and true for you and really amplify what is honest and true, because in the beginning stages of being in the present moment and being authentic to yourself, you do start to lose a lot because what is not for you is breaking down, and that does feel uncomfortable and that is painful, but it's important to not run away from that pain but allow yourself to feel it. That way, in your next steps, in your next chapters, in your next moments, you are then able to attract what is for you, and you're able to appreciate what comes in, and you're able to really take everything, all the wisdom and the knowledge that you've learned from those previous moments, and you're able to bring that into those spaces of those new connections or those new opportunities or those new endeavors. I think that's important to understand. Every moment means something. Nothing is ever a waste of time, because everything that has happened from the past or what's going to happen in the future, or most importantly, what's happening right now in this present moment, is what you need to be more in tune with who you are, to be more in tune with what you are meant to bring into this life, the value that you are meant to bring into this life, and understanding that value is love, is your peace, is your understanding, is money, is wealth, is whatever you deem value as, and understanding your value is what's important. But when it comes to the present moment, I think it's important to just be and allow yourself to be, and allow whatever comes up within that to be connected to and dealt with, if it's something that, if your mind is racing or whatever the case may be, breathing into that and allowing whatever comes up to come up. And I think it's important to really learn breathing techniques as well when it comes to the present moment, because especially if you have a tendency to be an overthinker, or you deal with anxiety or depression, learning how to breathe in and bring your energy back and call your energy back into where you can be in the present moment is very important. And for me, there's two breathing techniques that is really something that is beneficial for me that I use. And one of them is to where you breathe in you breathe in from your feet. So as you breathe in, you visualize, you just feel into your body. So you feel into the breath. So you breathe in and it comes through your feet and it goes to the top of your head. And as you breathe out, release it from your head to the bottom of your feet, and allow whatever is that you're holding on to release from your feet, and just allowing yourself to breathe like that in a continuous on a continuous basis, to where you are genuinely, to where you bring yourself to a sense of zen or a sense of calmness, allowing yourself to continuously breathe in and out like that. And if you want to, as you breathe in, count to 5 before you release and let go, and just breathe into that until you feel a sense of calmness or a sense of zen. And another breathing technique is just, you can imagine light, or you can just breathe into your body. So as you breathe in, just feel your entire body, just breathe in or imagine light coming in as you breathe into your entire body. And as you breathe out, just allowing that space to be outside of you. And like I said in the past video, you can use an object in front of you to focus on as you do that, so that you can focus on your inner energy and then focus on something else outside of you as you breathe out, and allowing that space to be for whatever is outside of you, whether that is a person, a thing, or whatever the case may be. Like I said in past videos, you can use your elements in your chart. So if you have fire in your chart, or water, or earth, you can use those different elements to be that space of breathing out. So you would breathe in and connect to your space internally. You can use your diaphragm, you can use your stomach. So as you breathe into your gut, and as you breathe out to whatever is in front of you. So say I use this microphone, I can breathe in, focus on my own energy, and as I breathe out, focus on the microphone, focusing on the microphone. So I think it's important to learn different techniques like that, breathing techniques, if you have a hard time being in your own energy. Learning different breathing techniques, or meditating, or praying, or whatever the case may be. For me personally, meditation, grounding, putting my feet in some grass or some dirt, and breathing, using that first breathing technique of breathing in through my feet, and breathing out into the grass or into the dirt through the bottom of my feet. I think that is something that is really powerful for me, especially since I'm a Taurus. Grounding, like being outside, is very zen and very it's like meditation for me. So I think that understanding what's for you is really what's important, and understanding what to let go of and what to bring in is really important as well. Being self-aware enough to know what is for you and what is not for you, and what is affecting you and what is beneficial for you. Really understanding those things and bringing more of what brings you in the present moment, more of what is that into your life, and releasing and letting go of what takes you out of the present moment. So if it's people around you that love being in drama or chaos or whatever the case may be, those are people that you need to cut off or distance yourself from. And if it's people that bring you joy, love, peace, want to see you happy, those are people that you want to bring more into your life. Understanding your different dynamics and being honest and real with yourself on what those dynamics is, and placing those people where they need to be placed, whether that be just distancing yourself or cutting them off or bringing them closer, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you need to do for you, really being honest with yourself with those connections is really important. And also being honest with yourself in your connection with yourself, being real and honest and saying, do you love drama? Do you like to be in a lot of chaos? Do you like to worry? Because a lot of the times you can be at peace in your life, but because you're so used to chaos and trauma, you find it and you place yourself in it instead of, walking away from things that don't matter, or whatever the case may be. Really being honest with yourself and getting down to the nitty gritty, and being the observer of your thoughts, and the observer of your energy, and also bringing that into spaces and different connections, and being the observer of those different connections, and really understanding and not being judgmental, but being the observer and understanding where to place those different people and place certain parts of yourself as well. Learning how to heal different parts of yourself in order to be healthy for yourself and healthy for the people that you want in your life. I think that's important to understand when it comes to being in the present moment. Understanding what brings you to the present moment, understanding the healthy things that bring you into the present moment, and the toxic things that you may be doing that's bringing you to the present moment, but it's not good for you, if that makes sense. So, for example, right, bringing you to the present moment, maybe doing something creative, skateboarding, going to play basketball, or working out, or being around people that you genuinely love and care about. Those things bring you to the present moment. Being around or writing, journaling, that brings you to the present moment. Other things that also bring you to the present moment is having sex with somebody that you don't necessarily know or you don't necessarily care about. That might be toxic because that's a soul tie. And that's something that you would then have to deal with on a different level of meditating or releasing, or other things like smoking weed or escaping by throwing yourself into drama, or arguing. Those things bring you into the present moment as well, but it's toxic, if that makes sense. So understanding what is healthy for you and bringing that more into your space so that you can be in the present moment of gratitude and love and light, and releasing and letting go of other things that are not healthy for your mental or your emotional or your physical state. I think that's important to understand. But yeah, I hope y'all like this podcast. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure y'all check out my Spotify as well. This is Truth Podcast with your host, True Car.